Are you sure you want to go back to this? My goal in this video is to share my thoughts with you on whether or not I think that you really need to go back to school to get a second bachelor's degree immediately, and I hope that I can provide you with some insights that can help you in your decision-making process. In case you're new to this channel, I make videos related to multiple careers, career change, motivation, and also other topics that can help you to improve in the really important areas of your life. If in this years you have big goals that you want to achieve that are related to your studies or to your career, then this channel is definitely for you, and you might want to consider subscribing. And in case you do, please also don't forget to hit the little notification bell, because only if you do will YouTube actually notify you of my new videos. If you've clicked on this video, then chances are that you either just graduated and got your first bachelor's degree, or that you are about to graduate soon. In both cases, perhaps you either really didn't like the major that you studied, or you now have serious doubts about whether or not you really want to work in a related field. And perhaps you are trying to rectify that situation by going back to school immediately to get a second bachelor's degree in a field that you are more interested in. This kind of situation is really not that uncommon. Just a few days ago, I came across two people who are in the exact same situation. This one girl just finished studying biology, but she really couldn't imagine herself working in a lab for the long term. So her idea was that she wanted to go back to school and get a second bachelor's degree in communication, because her goal was to work in TV production. Then this guy, he studied engineering, and he also already got his bachelor's degree in engineering. He already had worked for some months in that field and got some experience, but he really didn't like it. He's now considering whether or not he should go back, get a second bachelor's degree in another field, which is computer science. And in both cases, what they have in common is that both people are really not that sure about their choice. They haven't really made up their minds yet. They just think that this could be a solution. A very central question that I want to ask you is, which of these following two groups do you fall into? The first group is running away from your first degree, and the second group is running toward your second degree. Let me know in the comments which group you think you fall into. Let's look at the second group, which is running towards the second degree. And let's take the earlier example of the girl who just finished getting her undergraduate degree in biology. So for some reason in her final year, she found out that, okay, I don't want to work in a lab, but I really want to work in television, perhaps on a television set or in production. And that is why she's thinking that she wants to go back to school and get a second bachelor's degree in communication. And I can completely understand why she would think this way. She's aware that the first major, biology, which she took was a mistake, and she wants to try to rectify that mistake as quickly as possible by getting a communications degree. And of course, there are many benefits to getting a second degree in communications that can definitely help you to get a job in television and jumpstart your career. But she also needs to seriously think about the investment that she would need to make. She just spent, let's say, 3 or 5 years studying biology, and now she just graduated and wants to immediately pile on 3 or 4 more years of studies. What are the opportunity costs? What could she have done in the meantime? Would there perhaps be alternative ways to get experience working in television apart from getting that bachelor's degree in communication or film production? I do think there are many other options that she could take. For example, she could simply get a postgraduate degree or a certification program, and others. And my question to her would also be, although you know that you want to work in television, but do you already know for sure what exactly you want to do in television? I mean, television is a very broad area. Is she interested in being in front of the camera, behind the camera, doing camera work, or maybe is she more interested in the production side or doing accounting for television? There are so many areas of TV production. So I would be really careful here to make a rash decision and just start a second undergraduate degree in communications. I'm much more of a fan to try to get more experience in real life first, to fine-tune your experience and find out what you really want, to find out what your end goal is. Make it as clear as possible. And if that is clear, then you can decide whether you really want to invest that much money and that much time into getting a second second bachelor's degree. Now let's look at group one. And I think that the majority of people considering to get a second bachelor's degree fall into this group, which is running away from their first degree. So please tell me honestly, do you fall into this group? If you fall into this first group, I can completely understand your feeling. You might have already invested 2 or 3 years studying a subject that you don't like. Let's say, for example, it's accounting. You've studied accounting for 3 years and you really dread it. You've realized that you don't like it, and you remember that the only reason why you took accounting is because you saw that it would be much easier to get a job in this field compared to other fields, and that is why you studied accounting. But now, after having done all the exercises, the exams, quizzes, and so on, you really can't picture yourself working in accounting, and you feel like you want to run away from it. You hate it that much. But the main difference to the second group is that in this case, you really don't know what you want to do yet. You really feel lost. The only reason why you are considering getting a second bachelor's degree is because you just want to kind of delete your first experience with the first undergraduate degree. You want to override it with new experiences, and you think that getting a second bachelor's degree in any field, anything other than accounting, will be a solution to your problem. But I will tell you now that that will not be a solution to your problem. On the contrary, that might aggravate your problem. Imagine you've already made a mistake in choosing your first major, your first undergraduate degree. And now, without much thought, you're jumping into getting a second undergraduate degree. What if it turns out that that second choice is also wrong for you? What happens if you start your second bachelor's degree and then midway you find out again that that is not something for you? Doesn't it make sense to pause a bit here and spend a bit more time finding out what you really want? So let's go back to the earlier example. This guy just finished engineering and he just got his bachelor's degree, but he really doesn't want to work in engineering. Now he finds himself interested in international affairs and computer science. So he's thinking about getting a bachelor's degree in either one of these areas. But international affairs and computer science, these are two completely different areas. So if you feel that there is still a range of bachelor's degrees, fields that you could choose from, and you don't know which one to pick, that is an obvious sign that you are not ready yet to go back to school and get a second bachelor's degree. So in this case, what I would really advise you to do is to go out there in the world and start working, expose yourself to as many different experiences as possible in an effort to try to find out what you are really passionate about, or what you would really like to do for a living, or what kind of career you want to develop. And of course, you can accompany that by doing a lot of soul searching, but I think that the best, or perhaps only way to truly be able to find out what you want to do, what kind of career you want to have, is by being hands-on. Let's say, for example, that instead of doing accounting, you would rather want to be a psychotherapist. In your job as psychotherapist, imagine what you would need to do on a daily basis. You would need to have to meet a lot of different people, patients, and you would need to listen to their thoughts and their problems. So ask yourself, have you been doing this in your own life so far? Have you been engaging with people, listening to their problems? Is this something that through your own experience you feel that you actually really want to do? Or is it something that you're just imagining? Or let's say, for example, you're interested in studying filmmaking. Have you ever tried to make a film, or even just take some simple footage of a landscape, sunset or so, with your phone? If you haven't even done that, if you haven't even tried that, how can you say that you are really interested in studying filmmaking? Or if you want to get a second undergrad degree in anthropology, ask yourself, have you seen yourself in your daily life engaging with things related to that subject? Perhaps watching documentaries related to anthropology, maybe traveling around the world and showing an interest in different cultures. So rather than trying to intellectualize what you are interested in, try to derive that interest from the real world, from your real experiences. So in summary, if you run yourself through this test, you know which group you belong to and you figured out what you actually want to do, and you are completely certain that the only way to achieve your goal is by getting a bachelor's degree in that field, then go ahead, it's a green light. But if not, then please take your time. Even if you get into the workforce and work for 10 years, you can always still go back and get a second bachelor's degree. I hope this video was useful to you and has given you some insights that could help you in your decision-making process. Please let me know in the comments below how it went, whether you've made your decision, what your decision was, and what your reasoning was. I would really be interested to know. In case you like this video, please hit the like button. Also share this video with your friends who might benefit from watching it, and also if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell. As always, I thank you so much for watching. I wish you an awesome day, all the best, and I hope to catch you again soon.